Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point, Network AFR Talk. Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio. I want to go back to that last caller and just kind of tack that down. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand the level of frustration. I mean, I share it. This is a country that we love. We're watching it being dismantled before our very eyes. And the reason I make this appeal with such urgency is that we do not want to do things at this point where we are contributing to that chaos. We are contributing to the decay. We are contributing to the dismantling of this country. And if we resort to vigilante justice in a situation like this, when there are perfectly constitutional remedies available to us, then we're going to make the situation worse and not better. You know, and again, the founders were wise. I don't believe that they intended the power of impeachment to be used so rarely. I mean, it's in there for a reason. In other words, the only reason the founders would put the power of impeachment in the Constitution is that they knew, given the fallen nature of humanity, there were going to be times when it was going to be needed. You were going to have corrupt judges. You were going to have judges that were tyrants, that remade the law instead of applied the law. That's judicial misconduct. That's bad behavior. They put the power of impeachment in there so you can remove those judges that are twisting and perverting the Constitution. We haven't used it, but it's there, and it's there for that reason. There's a reason why you can impeach a president, because they knew that a president with the power that he has, if he gets out of alignment with the Constitution, it may be very, very difficult to stop him using routine methods. You may have to resort to removing him from office, and there's a way to do it. You don't simply have to put up with the president for 4 or 8 years. If he gets out of control, he starts putting together a string of criminal acts and decisions. There's something that can be done about that in a way where it's taken care of constitutionally. It's taken care of in a way that represents order. It represents structure. It represents legality. It represents our representatives that we have chosen, we've elected, we've sent to D.C. acting on our behalf. And that's the way this thing needs to go down. Now, what I'm expecting is to hear more and more calls for impeachment. You know, as I pointed out, there's only one senator, Democrat senator, that has spoken up now in defense of President Obama. That's Harry Reid. All of the other Democrats have headed for the tall grass on this. They don't want anything to do with this. They don't support it. They don't want to defend it. They can't defend it. So they're all dodging this, which means that right now President Obama has only one supporter in the United States Senate. I mean, one that's willing to step up and be counted, and that's Harry Reid. He has no support among any of the Republican caucus, I'm sure of that. And now it looks like he may just have one Democrat. I mean, what that tells you, ladies and gentlemen, is that the floor is falling out from underneath President Obama. It's dropping out from underneath him right now while he's over in Poland getting video of him lifting weights in that gym. The earth is collapsing beneath his feet. There is a sinkhole that's opening up under him, and I don't know if he senses it, if he's aware of it, but he very possibly could sink right into this sinkhole that's opening up right underneath his feet. And I do not think it is out of the, actually, I don't think that it's completely out of the realm of possibility that you could get some impeachment action started over this terrorist for traitor swap. I think that's possible. I don't know how a Democrat defends what the president did and can somehow pretend that what he did here did not endanger America's security interest. You can't argue that. Nobody's arguing that. All of the left-wing legal experts are saying he broke the law and he's endangered America's security. I mean, it's like nobody is now defending what President Obama is trying to do. So I don't want you to, again, we don't want to resort to vigilante justice. That's not how we make things better. We want to use the Constitution. That's what it's there for. We need to appeal to our elected representatives to use the power that the Constitution gives them. Well, we gave it to them. We, the people, have given to our elected representatives the power to remove a president from office when he commits high crimes and misdemeanors. And that's, I believe, that threshold has been met in this circumstance, as well as the litany of criminal behaviors, criminal decisions And by criminal, I mean he's just broken the law. I mean, what do you call somebody that breaks the law? You call him a criminal. That's about as blunt as I can make it, but it's absolutely accurate. Somebody keeps breaking the law. What do you call him? You call him a criminal. Well, that's high crimes and misdemeanors. So he can be removed from office. There's constitutional justification for a president who would do that. And I think what we want to do, let's just assume for the sake of argument that threshold has been met. Then what we want to do is press our elected officials. They represent us. We sent them to D.C. They serve us. We need to appeal to them to use the power that the Constitution has given them to resolve this in a way that's orderly and peaceful. If vigilante justice is resorted to, everything just completely goes chaotic. It goes into anarchy, and we just don't want that. That's going to make things worse instead of better. We want to make decisions that are going to represent law, that are going to represent the Constitution, that are going to represent order, and provide the opportunity to resolve this in a way that's prescribed in the Constitution rather than having to resort to a vigilante justice. Now, one person, this is clip one person who's trying to defend President Obama is Stephanie Harf. She's a spokesman for the State Department. And let's play the soundbite, but realize I read you the statements from the soldiers that served with Bo Bergdahl. 3 more of them came out today. They served with him. They observed him. They watched him. They overheard, intercepted his radio traffic with the Taliban. They were eyewitnesses. So when Chuck Hagel says everybody's innocent until proven guilty, fine, we understand in a court of law. But that's exactly right. Bo Bergdahl is innocent until we have eyewitness evidence and facts to believe that he's not. We now have that evidence. So we can make an assessment about Bo Bergdahl. We can make an assessment about his behavior. In the court of public opinion, we've got evidence. We've got eyewitness testimony, perfectly appropriate for us to draw conclusions based on that. But we've got this abundant amount of eyewitness testimony from people who served with Bo Bergdahl. Now listen to State Department spokesman Stephanie Harf show absolute disrespect for every soldier that served with Bo Bergdahl and in effect call them liars to their face.
Does the State Department consider Sergeant Bergdahl to be a deserter?
The State Department, no, Lucas. Look, what we've said is we are going to learn the facts about what happened here. We said very clearly in a statement from the Secretary on Saturday that Sergeant Bergdahl was a member of the United States military who volunteered to serve his country. We don't know the facts about what happened yet on that day.
According to those around him, his platoon mates, his squad mates, company mates, they said he walked off
some
the
of
base.
them, there are conflicting reports out there about this. Look,
are there?
There are. Go Google it on the web and you'll find a ton of conflicting reports. The fact is we're still establishing a fact pattern about what happened, how he ended up in Taliban captivity. So when he is able to share those, as Chairman Dempsey said today, he will. He also said, like any American, he is innocent until proven guilty. Our Army's leaders will not look away from misconduct if it occurred. In the meantime, we will continue to care for him and his family. So I think people need to be really careful about believing every second or third-hand report out there. And also what the President, what the Secretary, what Chairman Dempsey have said, regardless of how he went missing, it is our responsibility to him to bring him home, period.
You say second, third-hand reports when his squad mates who served with him overseas said he walked off the
Lucas, I'm sure some of them, I mean, look, there's a lot of rumor and telephone game that's being played here about what happened. Not all.
The guys on national television last night, his squad mates, platoon mates were not correct?
I'm saying we don't know the fact pattern yet here. We don't. Nobody knows exactly what happened that night. As the facts emerge, as he's able to discuss them with the Department of Defense, we will see where that takes us. It happened 5 years ago. This is a situation.
You've had all this time, 5 years, to determine whether he was a deserter or not. That's a long time.
He's been in captivity, Lucas. I think he's probably the person who knows best what happened on that night.
Well, I think that his squad mates have the best indication what happened.
Oh, that's amazing to me. Number to call, by the way, if you want to join our conversation about Bo Bergdahl or the Senate primaries, we're going to talk more about that after the break, is 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. This is amazing to me. She says, look, you cannot trust second and third hand reports. Well, we're not, Mrs. Harf. We're not depending on second or third-hand reports. We are depending on eyewitness testimony from people who were there and who observed it when it happened, and their testimony is consistent. Their testimony agrees with the testimony of their fellow soldiers. There's a consensus there. There's an agreement there. There's substance there. They're all saying basically the same story, that Bo Bergdahl deserted and that he aided and abetted the enemy. And their stories are all consistent. It's testimony. It's eyewitness testimony. They're reporting what they saw, what they witnessed, what they observed. And why do you think the administration gagged these guys? Remember, they've been under orders not to talk about this to anybody for 5 years. Why? Well, it's because they know that they're trying to cover up what happened here. They're trying to paint a scenario, the administration is, that's at variance with the truth. And that's why they got to keep these guys who know the truth from breathing a word about it. And this is amazing to me. Stephanie Harf saying, hey, don't take my word for it, Google it. So that's her defense. Her defense is that if you go on the internet, you can find other explanations for what happened. And that is her line of defense. So basically she's saying, look, you can set aside all of this firsthand eyewitness testimony, discount that, set it aside. Don't listen to these guys, even though they were the ones who were there that night. They were the ones that saw what happened. They were the ones that served with Sergeant Bergdahl. They were the ones that heard what he said, that saw what he did. Set aside all that and just go on Google. And if you can find one place on Google where somebody says something different, then that ought to invalidate everything that we've heard from these firsthand testifiers. So that is what's coming out of the Obama administration. And again, I look at the spokesman for the State Department, and they just seem to me to be so immature and so not up to the job. I mean, I can't help thinking I'm listening to people that are part of student council in high school. That seems to be all, to me, objectively, it seems to be all that they're suited for, all that they're capable. I mean, she all but said, hey, dude, that was 5 years ago. That was the essence of what she had to say. Focal Point, AFR Talk, back with your calls.